your ability to manage like risk, right? Because like I know some guys that are starting out in business and they're like, I don't know, you know, how you know, like for us, tackled a big sewer and water project last year, for an example, and it wasn't something we normally would do. And even my dad, you know, he was very like, this isn't something that you guys should be doing. But my ability to manage risk and take risk was kind of always there. And I think that's kind of like what you're saying. Like my dad was the same maybe as when you grew up. My dad was like, don't take on a lot of debt. You know, if you can't buy it outright, then you know you shouldn't buy it. And you're right with like that does it slows your growth because if you want to grow into something that is large, that generally does just come with debt. But I really like your leadership style when you're like, you know, worrier and warrior. How would you kind of describe your leadership style? Because especially even by judging by your Instagram, your reels, like just content that you actually put out there as well too. You seem to have really good culture with your guys and girls, and you seem like like a really cool dude to work for. To be honest with you, how would you kind of describe your leadership style with your team?
Um, so my leadership style is probably a lot different than than most. Uh, Funny comparison is Michael Scott from The Office. I'm not a great manager, I guess, on paper, but again, it kind of comes down to reading the room and knowing humans for for humans. And I've always felt that when you connect with people on a human level and understand that everyone has their own stories, their own cultures, their own beliefs, their own work ethic, you kind of can control the way that people perform. um, so my leadership style is very unorthodox and it's very lackadaisical, in a way. I've never been the person that is like, you're 2 minutes late. At the end of the day, if you're 2 minutes late today, but you're 20 minutes, early tomorrow, it's all going to equal out. We all hit traffic. We all have kids. A lot of us have kids to take school to school. Some of us are arguing with our wives before we head out the door on some days. Like, yeah, I'm easygoing when it comes to, the day in, day out stuff. Um, but I'm also like when it's time to get down and we got to get shit done. You're either again you got to be a warrior when it's time to be a warrior. So, um, and that's where like my last name resonates a lot with the way I kind of lead. Is I look at us like a small army, which is the definition of a militia. um, and you're in or you're out. You're gonna get this done, or you're gonna leave everyone early because you got you had plans. You got to go feed your goldfish or something, and we're all out there paving until 8 o'clock at night, and you drop out. If you're playing in the playoffs on a football field, and it's the last few minutes of on the clock of the game, you know a good player is not going to walk off the field because they have stuff to do. So it's a very tight knit group that is ready to do what's got to be done when it's time to do it. So yeah, my leadership style again is different, but it's definitely worked, and it's created a good core group of people. Um, and I also believe that people want to enjoy going to work and have fun. I mean, the few jobs that I have had, it was like the same thing day in, day out. It's very like structured, and, this is, when you show up, this is when you clock out, this is when your lunchtime is. And for me personally, I don't like that structure. I like to kind of just, again, when it's time to do it, we do it. When we can chill a little bit. But just getting the job done is really what matters.